Hey everyone, this is Campbell, and this is my language and cultural contact presentation number 2, which I've decided to do on the television series Narcos. So this is my weekly time log. I spent 2 hours over the past 4 weeks watching this television series so that I could present this project to everyone. So the vocabulary used in the Narcos television series is mostly consisting of local slang. And a lot of these words have different meanings in the Spanish language, but when it comes to how they're used in Colombia or used in the show, they use it very differently. So the first word is berraco, which really means it's used when talking about someone who's really talented or exceptionally able to do something. It basically is synonymous to someone being a legend. The next words are listo and agale. And listo is more of just like an affirmative response to something, such as yes, okay, good, right. And agale is a little bit more enthusiastic. It's more like a yeah, let's do it, as opposed to all right, okay, are those words where you would use listo. The next word is fresco, which is just describing someone who's chilled or relaxed, and it's an alternative in the show for the word tranquilo. Um, the next word is sicario, which in the context of the show just means hitman. And quebrar is actually means to break, but in the show it's used to mean killing someone rather than just to break. Plata o plomo is this threat that the Medellin cartel is using a lot in the show, and it basically is saying that you can either accept the money that they're offering you or that they will kill you. And it literally translates to just silver or lead. And the next word is vuelta, which it's a term that's generally used in Colombia to mean an errand, but in this context, the criminal context of narcos, it is a code word for a job or a hit. Now, the last word I want to go over is patron, which is really the mob boss. It's the main boss, and the lower down people, bosses, I guess you could say, in criminal gangs, are actually given alternative names, such as traqueto. So the cultural practices and nuances observed are really interesting in this show. I think that a lot of them mostly come from the actual history that's being talked about in the show rather than how the culture is actually being represented. I looked up a lot of different opinions on this topic as well, since I'm not an expert in Colombian culture or anything like that. And a lot of people were saying that although the history is really accurate, the show does have the fault, as many TV shows and films do, of exaggerating certain aspects of culture. A lot of them talking about like sensuality in the show being exaggerated and different things like that, rather than being an accurate representation of what was actually going on at that time, despite having accurate historic events in the show. They did have inaccuracies in that sense. So the two pictures that I have up on this slide are both relating to the show. The one on the right is a picture of Pablo Escobar after he's been arrested. And as you can see, he's just smiling, and they use the same kind of picture in the show to keep, accuracy in that. And on the left, it says, Bienvenidos al barrio Pablo Escobar. And that is because in the actual history, he made like a neighborhood, and he did some good for the community in this sense, despite being this drug lord, this huge narcotraficante, if you will. And overall, the show was just really interesting. There was just a lot of crazy stuff going on in it. The the main things that really stuck with the actual cultural practices were definitely the history that was actually being used and played out. Of course, it was exaggerated, but overall, I think that they did a really good job of making it entertaining as well as historical and factual at the same time. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Bye.